So I've been thinking about this for a while, and I think I finally kind of put it together enough to like finally kind of like convey my ideas about this. So essentially, I think solipsism is self-negating, meaning that it, by its own definition, proves itself does not exist. Um, so like the whole concept of solipsism is that only the self can be known to exist. The view or theory that the self is all that can be known to exist. So essentially what I think solipsism is trying to convey is that we can't validate or essentially validate any sort of experience other than our own subjective experience, but by this definition it implodes on itself, because it is then on, in my opinion, on the person making the claim that to define the self. It's like, okay, if it's a viewer theory that the self is all that can be known to exist, what is the self? And so the person who's making that claim that that's all that can be known to exist needs to define that which the self is to only known to exist. And you can't do that. And you can do, I mean, there's so many different kind of like different mental gymnastics like you can take with this, but the way I've kind of like broken this down, it for me is like I have different sensations and like ways that I interact with the world, right? Like I taste things, I see things, I smell things, right? But no, so there are a bunch of different sensations working together to put together my subjective experience. But if I isolate any of those, like just like if I just smell something without being able to see it, like that is an entirely different experience than and way of experiencing the world than if I open my eyes and smell it. But those are both two different subjectives, or two different perspectives on the same experience, to the same person, which is me, right? So they're, even in that sense, like there are two perspectives isolated from each other within a single person. So it's like you can't even define and isolate, like what I consider myself is a collaboration or a conglomerate of different working systems, right? Like my heart, brain, lungs, all these different things. Like, so you can't even define what the self is, because it's already a thing of moving parts. It's not a single, like, if you can isolate the self and like let me know, because Buddhists can't even do that shit.